Welcome back to episode 8 of Duo Everything, a series of videos that showcases my partners and my progress through old school RuneScape as group Ironmen. If you missed any of the previous episodes, they're all organized into a playlist for your convenience. Go give them a watch so you can get all caught up. Has it really been 5 months since my last upload? Whoops. In truth, I haven't had the time to edit this episode together. I'd give details, but that's not what y'all are here for, so with that said, let's get into it. As you can see from the clip playing out, one of the first things we tackled was Secrets of the North. It wasn't particularly difficult, but it was one of the few remaining quests we have left keeping us from obtaining the quest cape, as well as doing Desert Treasure 2. Not gonna lie, I'm not looking forward to Desert Treasure 2. I've heard some horror stories. I have a strange feeling that Desert Treasure 2 is going to give me problems. Whatever, that's a later me problem. Our goal at this point was to each do 100 KC at Muspa. We did some calculations and figured that 100 KC each would give us enough Ancient Essence to saturate the Imbued Heart K-Tiff got in the previous episode. Overall, I'd say that K-Tiff had average luck. 47 KC for a Venerator Shard. If we can get 5 of these together, we'd be able to make a Venerator Bow, which, after looking at it, I'm not really impressed. It seems kind of niche, but I'm sure we'll find some use for it, if we get one. Just a few kills later, though, 51 KC for one of these. For those who don't know, the Ancient Icon upgrades the Ancient Staff into the Ancient Scepter, giving a +5 magic accuracy and +5 magic damage boost over the Ancient Staff. That's a nice little upgrade. For me, this was a slow process. For some reason, bosses that are slightly more mechanically intensive just, I don't know, it causes my brain to short circuit. It's why I can't really do Zulrah. But I'm hoping that as I learn these fights and get better at them, it'll overall help me through all of these PVM grinds that I have stacking up against me. I do like to play the game to enjoy it and relax, not go full sweaty high stress mode. I suppose it isn't too bad when you get rewarded very early on for your efforts, though. That's 2 out of 5 shards. Don't mind my ugly mug here. While going through these 100 KC, I decided to stream as much of it as I could. Apparently, that was a wise decision because there's shard number 3. In 18 KC, I've had 2 now. Is streamer luck really a thing? I think so. It was uneventful for a little while, and right around when I was expecting one, I pulled an Ancient Icon as well. Those are little upgrades that we happily take. My next kill, I got another one. Cool. That's more Ancient Essence to add to the stack. At this point, I really didn't mind killing Muspa. I had adjusted to the mechanics, completed a few combat achievements, and was just enjoying my time, killing a boss that I'd never farmed before. And it seems that I have appeased the OSRS gods, because that's 3 shards and 51 KC. I want to point out that they have a 1 in 100 drop rate. But wait, there's more. 3 kills later. Yeah, don't know what I did, but I was utterly spooned on shards, which means that's 101 total KC to complete a Venerator Bow. K-Tiff's 47 KC plus my 54 total KC to get the other 4 shards. Again, it's something we weren't expecting to get or really going for, but I'm glad it happened. You'll see why a little later in the video. By the time I hit 90 KC, we had just enough essence to saturate the Imbued Heart. K-Tiff and I were both ecstatic over this upgrade because of how useful it'll be for my inevitable Zulrah grind. I finished off another 10 KC with no additional drops, and, for the time being, we both put Muspa down to work on some other big goals. Remember how I said you'll see why later in the video? Yeah, not that much later. The Venerator Bow helped me immensely during this part of DT2. Bear in mind, I had attempted this portion of DT2 about 8 times before whipping out the Veni Bow. I don't know why, but this part of the quest was an absolute nightmare for me. But, with this done, we both got our quest capes and knocked out some achievement diary stuff. I was able to do the Falador Diary, the Fremnik Diary, and I want to say I finished off the Elite Lumbridge Diary. I just didn't record any of it for some reason. I also dipped into my gold stash and trained my construction up because there was one specific house upgrade that I've been wanting since I started this account.
Oh my god, fucking finally! That took way too many attempts. Way too many attempts. +5 boosts, why are you ass?
The timer at the bottom wasn't correct. I had spent over 4 hours trying to get a +5 boost. With that constructed though, it's time to finally tackle the money snake. I love the fact that stews exist, but sometimes my luck with them is absolutely horrendous. Anyway, as you can see from this clip, something clicked in my brain and I was able to finally start farming Zulrah. It actually felt incredible to be able to do this. While I can't say the kills were particularly fast, I felt like I was zooming through KC after KC. The drive to get Caitiff and I Magic Fangs and Blowpipes was real. Next thing I know, I get something. After going technically dry. Because of how Zulrah's drops work, you have a 1 in 128 chance of getting any of Zulrah's drops, at least according to the wiki. So, what was my first item? Ah, yes, the one item that'll make my time at Zulrah easier. Don't get me wrong, I ended up getting 90 Herblore and could easily boost to make the anti-venoms, or whatever, but with this, I never have to worry about it again. Sure, it costs Zulrah scales to use, but that's negligible. I also nabbed one of these from Zulrah at 431 KC, which I actually had an immediate use for. See, before I actually got this Onyx, I had received a Blood Shard, which is cool since Caitiff and I had been spending a lot more time at God Wars. The passive healing from this made a difference, but it meant that I didn't have a normal Fury anymore. Well, that Onyx from Zulrah means I have a Blood Fury and a regular Fury. Woo! Speaking of God Wars, we had more luck there too. I nabbed me one of these, which was almost immediately turned into a Hasta. Meanwhile, Caitiff is over here getting a frickin' hilt of all things. That's cool, I guess, but we're after the staff and the spears. Man, screw Krill. Let's go back to Bandos. I want a frickin' Bandos hilt. See? That's better. I'm honestly dumbfounded at my Bandos luck. Don't get me wrong, this isn't technically 21 KC in a row, just 21 KC in my name, but 21 KC and I've managed to nab a hilt and a full set of Bandos. I love it. Despite the luck and us wanting to continue with God Wars, Caitiff said that for this to be more effective, we would need to get a second Dragon Warhammer. Bear in mind, this was long before Jagex even proposed changing the drop rate, so it was still 1 in 5k. We chipped away at it here and there. Eventually, we finally just camped Shamans. We weren't going to leave until we either ran out of cannonballs or just got the hammer. And at 6,925 KC, it finally happened. Caitiff picked it up and teleported away before taking a picture, but yeah, he got one. I'm honestly over the moon that it was in his name. I was worried it was going to be in mine, and he wouldn't have gotten the collection log entry. Of course, I don't think he particularly cares about maxing out the collection log, but it made me happy. Now, I normally had another segment planned for this video, but that got put on the back burner, mostly due to the fact that shortly after this clip you're watching, we took a break. We didn't have enough time dedicated to this mysterious segment that I'm referring to, so I'll just continue to save those clips for another time. For now, this is what my stats, bank, and drop log looked like at 73 days played. I do have some things stored away for episode 9 already, but still have a lot of things to collect before I can start working on that episode. Since returning, Jagex has released some new quests, a whole new region, new PVM thingies that I'm really thinking I'm not going to do, save for some combat achievements. no. I feel like there's too much other things that I have to do before I can start focusing on all this new stuff that isn't too terribly relevant to where we are in the game. That said, this may actually be the end of the series for a while. I have a new job prospect on the horizon that, while paying me immensely well, is gonna have me away from home for potentially months at a time. I quite literally won't have the time to even log in, much less play. I'm going to accomplish all that I can in the about 6-ish weeks I have left, and hopefully get a 9th episode out before my time gets dedicated to this job prospect. In the event that this is the last episode, at least for the foreseeable future, I just wanted to say thank you to the handfuls of you that have been following this series. I thank you for your patience with my slow uploads, and honestly just appreciate the support and tips that I've received from y'all over the series duration. I hope that I'll be able to continue providing content whenever I get the chance. For now, thank you for taking the time to view this episode, and I will hopefully see y'all in episode 9. Take care.